Hey everybody, it's Nick. For today's Storytime Sitdown, let's talk about nightmare fuel. We've all had that TV show or movie from our pasts that left such a deep psychological scar on us that not only did it give us nightmares, but in some cases it's one of the first childhood memories we can actually recall. Nightmare fuel for me came courtesy of this man, Jeff Corwin. Now, for those of you who don't know or don't remember Jeff Corwin, he was kind of like the Steve Irwin at home. It's like that meme. Mom, can we go see Steve Irwin? No, we have Steve Irwin at home. Steve Irwin at home. Now, I don't want to be too mean to the guy. There's few things, in my opinion, that are more noble than bringing the love of nature and wildlife to children on television. That said, however, Jeff Corwin's presentation style was very corny and cheesy and other food adjectives. His content that was family friendly definitely appealed more towards kids. And let's just face it, he did not have half the charisma that Steve Irwin had. But then again, no one does. Peace be upon him. Still though, if you were a kid in the early to mid 2000s watching Animal Planet, you were watching the Jeff Corwin experience. Just after The Crocodile Hunter, just before The Most Extreme. Now, along with the Jeff Corwin experience, he also had a number of made-for-TV specials. One of them was called Giant Monsters. And the premise of Giant Monsters was that Jeff Corwin would encounter prehistoric animals in the modern day and then compare them to their modern day counterparts. For example, he encounters a saber-toothed cat and then compares it to a Florida panther. It was all CGI, of course. They couldn't afford any real prehistoric animals, I guess. Jeff Corwin dies a total of 4 times in this special. I don't remember if he ever died in the Jeff Corwin experience, but the fact that I remember these scenes, even to this day, from something I watched when I was like 5 or 6 years old, should mean something. And what's really funny is that I found this special, I found a copy online, and I watched it to try and relive my childhood, and maybe if it was good enough, maybe I would make a reaction video on my channel. The special itself is very long, it's really overstretched. The special effects look like crap, even for 2003. So I decided not to. However, the deaths, the Jeff Corwin deaths, were just as I remembered them. Just as traumatic. So let's go over the deaths in Giant Monsters in order from least traumatic to most traumatic. Death number 1.
But I think we outran the monster. Oh, mother. I wasted my life.
Okay, so that death was kind of goofy. The Sarcosuchus bites his head off. He has a funny one-liner. I thought it was funny as a kid. I still think it's kind of funny now. So yeah, not really traumatic in my opinion. But let's skip ahead to the end with death number 2.
We're the stewards of these waters, and if we don't protect these oceans, we could lose the giant squid. Great predator. What? Hey! Get up! Get up! Ah! Ah!
So yeah, much less goofy. I'm watching this man getting dragged into the icy depths towards this giant beak that we just saw in gruesome detail. I mean, obviously he's alive the next scene, but that doesn't really make it any better, in my opinion. Death number 3. My man Jeff Corwin got swarmed and devoured by giant spiders. It's really drawn out. You can hear his misery. And if you have arachnophobia, like this is like a trigger moment for you. I don't personally, but I can imagine that gave the fear of spiders in some children. Fun fact, though, the spider featured in that special Megarane doesn't exist. So the special was made in 2003, but in 2005, they discovered that what they thought was a fossilized spider was actually the front half of a giant prehistoric scorpion, which isn't any less scary in my opinion, but that's just a fun fact for you. However, that's not the only time Jeff Corwin dies to Megarane in this special. That's the real one that happened. Death number four is a hallucination/nightmare scene where Jeff Corwin dies to a Megarane the first time. Let's take a look.
Animals get a little stage fright when they're around Jeff Corwin. Maybe I intimidate them. Oh, ow! Gee. Oh, ow! Is this what? Oh, ooh. Mother of pain. I'm okay. I'm okay. You're okay, Jeff. Oh, that was weird. I feel okay, though. Yeah, I'm okay. Except that I can't feel my fingers. Oh, I can't feel my toes. I'm totally paralyzed. And what's more, I've got a giant spider on my chest. It's Megarachne, the biggest, baddest spider of all time. It's pumped me full of its immobilizing venom. And now it's gonna throw up its digestive juices all over me. Oh God. Oh no. It burns. I'm melting. Melting. Oh, what a world. What a world. I'm being digested alive.
I could not believe what I was seeing as a kid. I was watching this man that I looked up to, a man that I turned on the television for, become paralyzed and then digested and melt to the bone before my eyes. You know, these things go through like a pipeline of like a dozen different people, entities, focus groups, whatever. Who in that pipeline was like, we have to include the long, drawn out, strangely awkward, yet still terrifying scene where Jeff Corwin gets vomited upon by a giant prehistoric spider and then dissolves in a time lapse? Who was the psychopath at Animal Planet who thought that was okay? It's just so out of nowhere. Like the Sarcosuchus death happened before the Megarane death. I think that was goofy. I thought that was just a joke. But then to watch this man just slowly die right there on TV, for me, that was nightmare fuel. I have never forgotten that scene. Like, When I was 5, I remembered it. When I was 8, I remembered it. When I was 12, I remembered it. Now at 25, I still remember the scene where Jeff Corwin dies from a giant spider vomiting in his face. Jeff Corwin, I would like to know like what you were thinking at that time, or what the team was thinking. Remind me if the Jeff Corwin experience was just as grim as that, because I don't remember that much. Anyway, that's my story of nightmare fuel. If you have nightmare fuel you want to share, leave it in the comments. And hey, if you watch Jeff Corwin and remember like that special, specifically that scene, let me know. I'd like to reconnect with a fellow victim. All right, and with that said, I will see you all next time.